Ianis Hagi has broken his silence following Rangers crushing 2-0 defeat to Athletic Bilbao to Hagi'S, and he's done it with a message that's left supporters guessing after a night where Rangers bowed out of Europe and officially closed the book on any silverware this season. Hagi, who was subbed off at half-time, took to social media and said, "Not our night, but your backing never goes unnoticed." It's short, emotional, and some might say cryptic. Because, let's be honest, Hagi's future at ibrox is anything but clear. Out of contract at the end of the season, no renewal signed, and a new manager still nowhere in sight. It's the perfect storm for a departure, and yet this message sounds like someone who still cares, someone who still wants to be here. He's made 129 appearances for Rangers. He's scored 20 goals, assisted 28 more. He's dragged this team through grim patches and shown flashes of pure class like that equaliser against Aberdeen. But this is football. Sentiment means nothing when you're rebuilding a squad, and with the 49ers set to take control, budgets and direction might leave no room for Hagi. Should Rangers fight to keep Hagi, or is it time to move on and invest in someone new? The curtain has fallen on Rangers' 2024-25 season, and after the limp collapse in Bilbao, the focus now turns to one thing: clearing out the deadwood. And if you ask me, Rafael Fernandez should be the first out the door. Boot first. Now look, Robin Proper's not exactly covered himself in glory either. The man literally admitted he underestimated the Scottish Premiership. How's that for a red flag? He's been bullied, outmuscled, and sent packing, quite literally, with that red card in the first leg against Athletic. A disaster on his own shore. But somehow, Fernandes has managed to be even worse. Signed in January on loan from Lille, he arrived quietly, barely featured, and when he did, it was honestly hard to watch. 91 total minutes in a Rangers shirt. That's it. Against Queen's Park, he was hooked after 60 minutes in one of the most embarrassing defeats in recent cup memory. And in the 2-2 draw at Aberdeen, same story. Looked out of his depth, rattled and slow. Here's the reality: 3 league games, 0 tackles per match, winning just 25% of his duels and fouling more than he defends. That's not a developing project, that's just a waste of a shirt. You can't blame the lad for being tossed into the fire. This is on whoever thought it was a bright idea to bring in a player this raw during a season like this. No shame in saying thanks and goodbye. Let Lille deal with him. Rangers need warriors, not passengers. Now tell me this: should Rangers ever have signed Rafael Fernandez in the first place? Or is this the worst bit of business since the Pedro Caixinha era? Right then, let's talk Hamza Igamane and what's really going on at ibrox. You've got one of Rangers' most exciting young players, the lad who single-handedly sent Parkhead into meltdown with that last gasp winner in the Old Firm. And yet, when it mattered most, both legs against Athletic Bilbao, he started on the bench. Why? That's what everyone's asking, and it's a fair question. Barry Ferguson, fighting for his own future at ibrox, chose not to start Igamane in either leg of the Europa League quarterfinal. For Derek Ferguson, that's telling, and he's right. Because in those matches, when you need a spark, a bit of brilliance, you leave your second top scorer sat watching. The Moroccan has hit 11 league goals this season, 15 in all competitions, and he's still just 22. He's fast, unpredictable, raw at times, sure, but you can't coach what he's got, and clubs know it. Everton, Spurs, Marseille, Newcastle, they're sniffing about for a reason. Some reckon a bid close to £20 million could be enough to prize him away. Now here's the real issue. Rangers cannot afford to bottle this one. For far too long, players have left for peanuts. And while Ferguson says Igamane's a player you can build around, the moment a decent offer lands on the table, the board's got a decision to make. Do you cash in and reinvest? Or do you back the lad, give him the shirt, and let him be the striker? this club desperately needs to build around. It's a classic Rangers dilemma, but this time, with the 49ers looming, there's nowhere to hide. Would you sell Hamza Igamane this summer if a £20 million offer landed on the table? Or is he too valuable to lose at this stage of his development? Right, listen to this. After all the drama on the pitch, it's what happened off it, Nani, in Bilbao that's got folk talking now. Athletic Club boss Ernesto Valverde, the same man who was smug as anything after scraping past Rangers, has slaughtered his own supporters for the chaos they caused following that 2-0 win. Let's be honest, we're used to hostile atmospheres in Europe, but this was pure madness. There were clashes with police, 6 folk arrested, a dozen injured, including officers, and all after a Europa League quarter-final that should have been remembered for the football, or in our case, the VAR robbery. But instead of celebrating their win properly, a section of Bilbao's ultras turned it into something shameful, and even Valverde wasn't having it. He called their behavior embarrassing and said it had nothing to do with football. According to him, it was people using football for their own interests, filming, provoking, stirring trouble. Now get this, Bilbao are hosting the Europa League final, a major UEFA showpiece in that same stadium. If this is how they handle a quarter-final, what happens when tens of thousands from across the continent turn up? And here's the most ridiculous part, Minna. They're out here lecturing yous on sportsmanship while their lot are turning San Mamés into a circus. Should UEFA seriously be trusting Bilbao with the final after what we saw this week? Or was that decision made with blinders on? Rangers might just have caught a break in their pursuit of Vaclav Cerny, and it's all thanks to a former loanee who barely got going at ibrox. Fabio Silva, remember him? The Portuguese striker who floated through his Rangers stint without ever properly finding his feet is suddenly hot property in La Liga. 10 goals for a struggling Las Palmas side, has now got Bundesliga sides Eintracht, Frankfurt and Wolfsburg sniffing around, with reports suggesting Wolves want around £17.1 million for him. So what's this got to do with Rangers? Well, here's where it gets juicy. Cerny, who's easily been our top outfield player this season, is set to return to Wolfsburg in the summer. But if Wolfsburg are serious about splashing cash on Fabio Silva, they'll need to offload assets, and Cerny, he's right at the top of that list. Now, we all know Cerny wants to stay. He's flourished at ibrox, gets the club, and looks like he actually cares. The problem has always been the price tag. His camp say, we can't match it, but that might be about to change. Wolfsburg, needing funds, could lower the asking price, or at least open the door for negotiations. And let's be clear, keeping Cerny isn't just about having one good player. It's about building a new era around someone who brings real quality to the shirt. You need players like him if you're serious about ending Celtic's domestic grip. Should Rangers break the bank to keep Cerny, or is it just another lone success story that we'll let slip away? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.